Game of the week. Bionic Commando for the Nintendo Entertainment System, released in July of 1988 for the NES, is actually a successor to the arcade version, which came out in 1987. I think I got this right. Developer was Takuro Fujiwara, who ended up becoming a producer. Um, the developer, no, he was like the director of like a lot of Capcom games after producing this one. This is one of the earlier ones that they had. Um, but he became basically the man. He became the Miyamoto of Capcom after doing this game. So just FYI. And this of course is considered a action platformer. Now, I did go into this one here a little bit more in the history than normal, so forgive me as I take a second to run through this, but I think it's well worth it. This first part here came from the actual manual itself. So it's going to be a little weird, and there's a whole lot of variations to it, which don't make sense to me. We'll cover that in a little bit. But this is an action platformer in the Captain Commando Challenge series, where you play our brave guy, later named Nathan Rad Spencer, also named Lad and other things, on a mission to stop the Imperial forces of General Isimo Kilt, who in the 1980s found the NAS top secret material called Albatross. The Federation, your side, sent in Super Joe, the guy from the old Capcom game Commando, where you run up and down the screen and shoot stuff. Uh, but the Federation had lost contact with him. So you, our brave guy, was sent to the Empire on a rescue mission to save Super Joe. That itself sounds confusing as fuck. So the TLDR on this, truthfully, is that you are a guy who, again, name is Nathan Rad Spencer. Later, they call him Lad for some reason. Don't know why. But you're sent in to save Super Joe, who's from Commando, and need to save him from the evil Nazis uh, who are trying to resurrect Hitler. So go save him. That's really what that game is. But due to censorship and laws in West Germany, something towards the idea of not being able to talk about Nazi stuff or something in Germany, uh,
Yeah.
that's why they changed the name of this over to Bionic Commando. But in Japan, a lot of places actually gave you like the Japanese name of it, but basically it translated into the Resurrection of Hitler, and this is what this game was
Oh
called in
shit.
Japan on the Famicom. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So good luck in
but
Germany with that bad boy.
yeah, so they
It
got
might
Bionic
be hitting
Commando. It
America.
is, but
Can't make that the title. Might be a hit in America. Like they might start playing for the bad guys.
you never know. But like I said, this is just a port adaptation of the arcade game. It was very much more linear than this. This is a lot more in depth. But this is also if you're going to spend this kind of money on our game, we want to actually give you more. This is back when the video game companies wanted you to get value out of the money or out of your video game, so that you were paying so much more than the couple bucks you pop into the arcade. But basically, all the branding on the all the branding on the Bionic Commando name and the gimmick of the hook shot, the grappling, it's been used over several different games platforms over the years. But basically, the biggest gimmick in this is the removing the ability to jump, and you have to use the grappling hook to maneuver through the world and through the platforms. So, again, forgive me on the explanation to go through all that, but I did think it's interesting. The first part that I can say, you read the manual, it don't make any sense at all what the hell it is that you're doing. They actually never named the guy; he's just called our hero. And then, like I guess, as the lore grew, then they kind of retrofitted a lot of it. But even then, it didn't match up to anything that made any sense either. But either that, let's start with A. You look like you're determined. What's your first impressions of this game?
First impressions of the game, absolute first impressions when I load up. The controls are they're different. There's definitely a hard learning curve for the grappling hook. They're like, oh, why the hell can't I jump right now? It's because you grappling. You're a grappler. First impressions, it's definitely different. It's unique. It kind of the movement aspect with the grappler is is like I said, unique. It's really different than most other NES games that I played, so it's really refreshing in that way. But absolute first impressions, I was like, what am I doing wrong here? I feel like I suck. But once I started getting the hang of using the hook, it definitely became satisfying to even play. I will say that that's my first impressions. Learning curve at first, but once you get over that learning curve, it becomes like satisfaction. I feel like movement wise.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, C? How's your first impressions on this going?
Well, as I told you all pre-pod, my first impression was confusion, as per usual. I know it's a common theme here for me. Um, could not figure out what was up with this grappling hook. I thought I was supposed to swing up onto the first platform, and I'm like, man, this fucking grappling hook sucks. It's not working at all. So after about probably 10, maybe 15 minutes, I went over to the good old YouTube, like we had, back when the game came out. So I went over to the YouTube and I found out when you grapple up, you can literally just flip up onto the platform. That was cool to know. So that definitely helped. I know, like you mentioned, they took, there wasn't a jump. And at first, ironically, I was having issues getting my controller to work and to the keybinds that they were supposed to. So I was going through the
Okay.
settings and I thought I spent another 10 minutes or so wondering why I couldn't get jump to work. I just thought it was an issue. So I bind it to like a bunch of different buttons and I just couldn't get it to work. Then, as I watched a little bit more of this YouTube video, I found out I couldn't jump. So after about 30 minutes of startup time, I got into the game, and yeah, cool concept. I mean, it kind of reminded me a little bit of shit. Forgive me, um, Metal Gear a little bit. I believe. Yeah, yeah. Kind of reminded me of Metal Gear just thematically. But yeah, kind of a cool concept. The grappling, I agree with Aiden. At first, I was like, man, this blows dick. And then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, once you get the hang of it a little bit, it's really not that bad. Little finesse to it. Learning that, oh, hit a button to actually repel yourself up and not just hang. And so after the learning curve, it was all right. Definitely different, fresh game mechanic that, like you said, takes away the jump, replaces it with something different.
I think it's a cool. I don't know if we would call it mechanic, gimmick, however you want to go, but it definitely makes it unique. Especially in the
Yeah.
world of Nintendo, where the first time you play Nintendo, very likely you're playing with some guy named Mario who is run and jump. Um, and even if you want to go to shooters, you're shoot and jump. So the ability not to jump is something that definitely makes it stand out on its own. I had originally never played the arcade version until many years later on one of the Capcom collections that I have. It's a terrible game. I don't recommend it. Um, but this here, it's a very, very unique game. And even comparably to the arcade, looks pretty good. Graphics wise, I think you can tell what things are. It's a little wanky. I think that's a bad word in England, but it's a little weird on some of the things you see. But I mean, you pretty much just got guys with guns and different robots and things, so nothing too crazy out there. But all in all, I thought it looked fairly good. How about you, C? What's your opinions on the graphics?
Yeah, but I thought it looked decent. I think especially for the age of it, I didn't expect much. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought this game would be a lot different at first. I didn't look anything up prior. Didn't really know what to expect, but I think it looked pretty well. Like you said, you can tell what's what. I know I was kind of impressed, especially with the age. My game didn't bog down. I don't know about you guys. It didn't bog down whatsoever. No matter how many enemies, no matter what boss kind of scene I was on, nothing bogged down. I thought the grappling was smoother than I expected as well. I expected it to be a lot clankier for a game that's as old as it is. So I'm kind of pleasantly surprised. I wasn't blown away. I don't think it's the best looking game I've seen on the platform, but I think it bodes well compared to what I was expecting. So it definitely went past my expectations for it. So I was left happy with it. Don't fight with me, Aiden. I know you like to disagree with every word that comes out of my mouth. Let's hear it. Let's just agree with me, man, please.
No, I think I mostly agree with ZJ. I think it did play well. Just the mechanics in general
Oh,
were pretty decently smooth. Uh, Obviously it felt when you first start playing, it feels clunky. You're like, I can't jump. You get in areas where you instinctively go to jump, or if you're getting shot at. I definitely ran into that issue. But no, I mean it played fine. I think Larry mentioned it was one of the earlier games. But yeah, I mean the game played smooth. When you first get onto it, it felt clanky, like I said before. But once you got the hang of it, for sure. And I don't think game wise or like system wise. Also, wow, CJ, I'm agreeing with you again. I never experienced a lot of times when like you have a lot of enemies on screen, it gets all buggy out, and especially on these types of consoles or emulators, which we're not doing. We're playing it legit. Uh, it kind of once you get a lot of enemies on the screen, it freezes up. But I never really had this issue with this game.
Um,
Quick
I think they
question.
did well with their sprite content on it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think the color palette was kind of a little surprising as well. Yeah, I agree. I was just gonna ask if I was out of the loop, is this a Christmas special VGR episode? Because I mean, I'm getting a present from Aiden every 4 seconds he opens his mouth here. He's just agreeing. Like I've never received a greater gift from the guy, so I just
It's a
had to ask.
it's a little post Christmas in July for you, buddy.
Awesome, awesome.
Um, but I do remember somewhere, and I don't know if you guys like say how much of your walkthrough you used or how much you watched on it, but I know there's a spot I think in the first level where you can like basically sit there and grind to get all those little
Mhm.
pellet bullet things that they had, and you could increase your level and your hit
Yeah,
points and all that. Um, but if you notice in that spot, there was never more than 3 enemies on the screen at any time. It wouldn't just pile up, pile up, pile up. And I think that's what helped keep the graphics smooth. They weren't pushing the system. They were like, this is the boundaries that we have to work in, and kept it there, which I think helped a lot. But I think like when you hit the boss stages, those did get a little more hectic. But even then, it held up pretty
Even then,
good
I
when you
didn't. I
had.
didn't
agreed,
personally. I didn't have any kind
agreed.
of freezes or stutters, but I did.
No,
I think it was on the first or second level. It was there's an elevator going down, and you go and you talk,
Yeah,
yeah,
you wire out and communicate and whatever, and you go back up, and then you go like left to progress. There is a spot right there where they float down on parachutes where you can kind of farm up some green container things. I don't know what they
yeah,
actually are, but I think that was my grind spot right there.
yeah. That's one of the early ones that it points you to. At least say on the 2 different walkthroughs that I had the opportunity to watch, it said that
I
you should hang
did.
there. Apparently, in Famicom version, you can't do that. So
hmm,
Hey, full transparency, I did use save states because I was not. Uh,
same.
I did use save states. I can't imagine beating this game fully without any save states. I feel like it would be tough. Another one of those games where it'd be tough. I guess if you kind of get some good grind spots and you kind of get your hit points all the way up, I can see you doing it. But personally, I use save states. I was not trying to go back to the beginning every time I died 3 times or whatever.
well, I think we'll go back to that classic. Back in the day, this may be the only game you had plus Mario or something.
True.
One of
Yeah,
3 games. It's the one you got for your birthday. It's the one you got for Christmas. Good luck. That's the only one you're getting for the next 6 months.
yeah.
So you would tend to grind it out. But this game, I found out through the walkthrough, which I was going to bring this up later. But hey, why not? Um, had a lot of weird little things that you had to do that kind of gate kept anything from you. Like in the first level, you have to go into a particular room and talk on the transmitter robot or computer thing,
Yeah.
or you're locked. You were soft locked, and I'm like,
Mm,
how the hell are you supposed to know that? I
agreed.
mean,
Yeah.
so I mean, you knew it the first time you went through. It's like, oh, okay, I did that. You just kept going through the stage.
Yeah,
Well, you died. You have to continue. So next time you come out, it's like, I know what it says. I'm moving on. Now you're soft locked. So it's like it forced you to do something you just weren't aware of. But there's a lot of different things in that on that. But back in line with what we normally do. I'm trying to think. I don't believe this was a bad soundtrack. I just don't think it was great because nothing really sticks with me. Um, I know there were several different tracks for the music, but just really none of it stuck really good. Even though they had, from what I read, there was like 4 different composers they actually used in this game. But the only thing that sticks with me is the little noise of when you go in and out of the door. Kind of sound like a shot, like a patoo, and that was about it.
I will say, on especially on the NES, they're kind of bottlenecked with what kind of sounds or music they can actually produce. So I do think they kind of did what they did, but also with other NES games with the same kind of bottlenecking they had better soundtracks to me. With a name like Bionic Commando, you're gonna think you're hearing some badass shit. But actually, I went on YouTube and re-listened before we started the episode, and I didn't. I honestly was not that impressed. My first initial answer was going to be it didn't really stick with me, which truthfully it didn't. I didn't remember specifically any one soundtrack or really even sound effect that much other than shooting your gun or killing an enemy. But
Yeah.
even going back and re-listening to the soundtrack, I would almost say it's below average. I mean, it was not that. It wasn't really that good at all. To be fair, like all honestly, might be a little below
Well,
average
and
for me.
I'm with you on that, and I think, like I say, it's again, we maybe the way we played it in the time frame that we played this, that Capcom's had some bangers, Mega Man, DuckTales, all these things, which Mr. Fujiwara had a lot of play in, but again, he was the lead director on it. But I guess it's just we've gotten really used to it, and I think even at the time, like Contra came out in '86, and that soundtrack sticks with me constantly. So it's not impossible to think you could come up with something.
Yeah, I agree with what both you guys are saying. I'm probably a little harsher on it. I've used this term before to describe sounds in my ears, but just farting and shitting. I didn't really like this. I think this is the bad version of 8-bit. I think any 8-bit in the big 2.5, it does sound nostalgic, but to me, this just sounded like shit. Be completely transparent. No sound stuck out with me. Agree with you guys. It just almost felt like it was. I know Aiden's gonna be on my ass because I've said everything's too loud lately in my headset for some reason, but it just felt too loud. It didn't feel. It didn't feel soft. It felt sharp. Like a lot of the sounds felt sharp to me, if that makes sense. Just almost like it cut my eardrums a little bit. I just wasn't a fan. Probably about 15 minutes into it, I pulled up the new episode of South Park and watched it during instead because I did not like the sound. So yeah, for me, like I said, probably the most harsh, but you guys you guys already started me on it, you know. I won't stop when it comes to harping on somebody for shit and farting sounds in my ears. So I mean, honestly, it's probably one of my least favorite parts of the game overall. Is just the soundtrack was super lackluster. Like you guys mentioned, it's Capcom. Other games in the in the time frame or in the generation perfectly fine, especially Capcom. I mean, they're hitting home runs, and then they give us this. You know what I mean? Like that kind of perturbs me a little bit. I didn't like that. Definitely one of my least favorite parts. Other than that, least favorite wise, I mean, there's something else I was gonna say. The enemies directionally sometimes I felt like it felt a tad bit inconsistent with. I'd try to get up on a platform behind them, and they're shooting the other direction, and then all of a sudden it felt like perfect timing. Every time I climbed the platform, they'd have a shot off on me before I could get up. That was a struggle early on, and I will say the people that drop down magically through the fucking walls and shit when they're rappelling down on their parachutes or parachuting down kind of just pisses me off a little bit. You're parachuting underground, really? You're getting to me underground. I'm in a cave and you're parachuting from above the cave ceiling into where I'm at. Bullshit, buddy. And the amount of times I jumped into that, God, that irked me. I'm gonna be honest. I would rappel, swing, and then as I swing, one fucking drops his feet through the floor, and I take damage and wipe out, eat shit. That had me. That grinded my gears, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. God, that
Well,
one. That's my biggest frustration. That plus farting and shitting in my ears. Yeah, it's a good time.
wow. How do you really feel about that? Um, how about you, A? What grinds your gears? What did you not like about this?
uh, I don't know if there's a ton of gear grinding going on. I definitely think it's one of those games where nothing stood out to me too much. Uh, didn't nothing when I was playing it like, oh, this part of the game is amazing, incredible. I think everything was just pretty solid for me. I'm definitely not as harsh as CJ. I think it's like maybe average or slightly below average. Did not really stand out too much. It's not part of the game that I like. So might be one of the things that grinds my gears the most. Uh, I want to say I partly I want to agree with you, Larry. I usually am the guy that I really like especially on platformers to be a linear experience. But I feel like for this, I weirdly enough did not have any struggles with that. I think I weirdly enough just naturally at the first level just went to the top. I feel like I just naturally followed the route that I was supposed to go. Um, there was some spots where just from a performance standpoint where I'd be getting like in the middle of the level and I have 3 enemies shooting around me and I can't jump or repel or like stuff like that. Just kind of skill issues that I'm just not used to. I want to have a jump button. Uh, yeah, I want to say probably the music. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of things that really piss me off about the game. I mean, it's kind of some stuff was rage inducing, like CJ said, but I don't know if that's a knack on the game. A lot of these games are designed like that, so you go through the level and then you replay it, and that kind of gives you more time to play through the game. Like these people are buying these games expecting to be playing them for months, and not just us trying to get them
Yeah.
done in a week. So I can't. I don't. I'm not really gonna knock them on that because I feel like that's an intentional game mechanic. Uh, I guess I have to say the sound. I don't think anything pissed me off too bad, to be honest. Just nothing exceeded my expectations either. Too much.
Well, I can feel you on that. I think the one thing we're going to at least collectively agree on was just the sound, the music is less than mediocre. Um, but personally, the thing that I find again watching playthroughs, playing through it, it felt very cryptic, very esoteric on the idea of it's almost felt like an old PC game where you had to have a manual to kind of not a manual, but a guidebook to kind of help walk you through it. You could stumble through it, but I honestly don't think that you'd be able to make it to the end of this game without having something that tells you you need to go here and get this. Because I know we didn't cover too much in the initial, but you don't just go from level 1 to level 2.
Yeah.
It has these different zones on a map where you can go to. You don't need to go to this one. You can go to that one. You do need to go to this and get this thing so you can get through this one spot and go
Yeah.
through. And it's like there's nothing there that really tells you that you need to do that. So except that kind of in the big picture kind of that's what pisses me off about a lot of these type of games is if you don't tell me inside this game or inside the book that I just bought, then you just force me to buy something else so I can figure out how to beat this damn game.
Yeah.
You're cheating me. So those are the kind of things that do get me. But
Yeah, I think
other than that, I'm with you.
I'm one of those guys.
Good.
I agree with you, especially on that. As you guys know, I'm the linear guy. I kind of like things to be kind of painted out for me. I don't want to have to look something up to figure it out in the game I just bought. There are some exceptions, like for instance, Elden Ring. There's some storylines that you're not going to find out. That you're not going to find out when you first play through. You almost have to look it up or kind of just stumble upon it, which I don't have a problem with that. Or I don't have a problem with like Call of Duty Zombies like Easter eggs. Like you're not gonna find that out naturally. You're never gonna. You have to look up
Yeah.
somebody to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't
Whoever
have a problem
does.
with that. Yeah, whoever finds that out, I don't even know how you're a psychopath. But yeah, games like this where you have to there you have to find this to kind of progress in the game. You have to like look it up to progress in the game. I did have a spot like that, like from a video I was watching. This guy was using the triple blaster, like where it shoots like 3 directions. I'm like, how do you get that? Look it up, and then you have to like. It's like I
Mhm.
think after like the third or fourth level, you have to go like one of your friendly camps. I don't. And another critique, I was kind of lost in the story. I didn't really follow it all that much, to be honest. I don't know if they were mad at me at this point in the game. I was kind of like a traitor. I don't remember. It was in one of the training camps, and like everyone's
Yeah.
saying like he's right here. But I think it was that training camp or friendly camp where you get the triple blaster. But yeah, I do agree. I feel like if it's to a point where like you need to get this item or go to this place to genuinely progress in the game, and there's nothing pointing me to that place, I feel like that's definitely an issue with the game.
Yeah, it's not like with Metroid, it's designed around you going to A, but you notice a spot you missed because the thing you got now you can go back to it. This one doesn't lay you out because it's just numbers on different levels that you're going to. So that's why I feel that it's cheating you in that degree. Small possibility that when people were pursuing you in the friendly area, you may have just shot. I think if you just fire a weapon in there, then suddenly everybody goes ape shit and they want
I
to kill
might
you
have.
now.
I don't remember, but I also wasn't keeping up with the story too much, to be honest. I'm not saying the story was bad. Personally, maybe it was a fault of mine. I did not really piece the story together all that much.
No, well, story was go save Super Joe, kill Hitler. I mean, that's that was the story pretty much. So, um, but in that, we'll go out towards our favorite parts of this. I'm going to start off first, and I think we collectively talked about it before we got started. None of us had the opportunity to beat this week, but I did spoil the ending because I think in the span of NES games, this is one of the better endings in the game. My favorite part of this game is seeing Hitler's head blow up. Um, I just think that's fucking awesome that they left that in there. It's graphically violent for 8-bit. I mean, it's 4 frames of his head literally blowing up. It looks like Hitler in 8-bit, and then you basically end up with a couple chunks of flesh and a shit ton of blood everywhere. Um, that plus just the basic gimmick of the game. Like I say, I think it uses something that's definitely different, which makes it better. Not better, but at least unique. So those are my 2 favorite points of this game, and it's pretty simple at what I'm shooting at on it. But how about you, A? What was your favorite parts of this game?
I want to say my favorite part of the game was probably the movement, just the grappling hook. It was kind of I've always liked those games where you like swing. I actually I don't remember what it was, but it was like a mobile game on my phone. There's a stick figure swinging from building to
Mhm.
building. Don't remember what it was called, but
Up the road.
no, wasn't that? That was like that little frog dude eating candy. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'd probably say the movement.
Okay.
The movement, navigating the map without a jump feature is a really interesting thing to have in a game like this, where the games are usually pretty simple. Having no jump mechanic on an action platformer and having it work out well, probably my favorite thing. And especially because it's satisfying when you do get the hang of it, when you are swinging from shit. And I do like how responsive it
Yeah.
is. A lot of the games, like, it is kind of rare to have you're swinging in the air and you can actually perform an action while you're in the air, especially for a game of this time.
agreed.
I can swing in the air, and while I'm still in the air, I can sling another rope out, pause, and then swing in the air again. Like it's kind of rare for a
Yeah.
game like this to have a feature like that, and that's pretty cool. Again, on the movement part of it, that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I think that's funny. That was literally my number one was the movement. I don't know if you guys recall, it was uh the non-released VGR episode from back in the day, but when we played Mario, the original, my one of my biggest gripes is I kept getting my ass kicked by not being able to move horizontally in the air already after a jump. I was trying to jump and it wasn't working. But yeah, no, I mean the movement itself was shockingly good for the age of the game. I think that's you almost can't overstate that enough. Comparing this to other games around late '80s, top tier movement. Uh, Same like Aiden said, it's super interesting to take away the jump mechanic, especially at a time in games where, like you mentioned, Larry, we have like what 2 buttons and some movement, and you take away one of our buttons. You know what I mean? But to
Yeah.
replace that in a good way, definitely unique in a positive light. I will say it did for movement wise, it played very smooth. Like we mentioned, I was very appreciative. It didn't bog down. It's definitely what I expected it to do, and I think the whole theme of it wasn't bad. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of Metal Gear in the sense of theme, but obviously I didn't make it to the end either. But you showing us Hitler explode is pretty badass. I will add that.
Oh, and I
I
forgot to
mean,
mention,
Pretty cool. Pretty
can't
cool.
I forgot to mention there is a couple. It's not like on the main numbered level line like the 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think it's a little mini game, but there are a couple little like mini places where you can go where it's an overhead view and you're kind of shooting from an overhead view like Dragon Quest or that's Dragon Quest 2 that we played, or what's
Gar-
the
that's
Gargoyles Quest,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah, Gargoyle's Quest 2, yeah. Dragon's Quest is a different game.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gargoyle's
the
Quest 2
uh
had some spots like
the
that.
the scrolling up part of that was actually a homage to Commando because that's exactly how Commando played.
Really?
Huh.
Exactly that same,
Cool.
yeah, exact same format and everything. So it was a little homage to it. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be like some sort of spiritual successor to that, or something in the same line of that
Mhm.
kind of shit. But um, on that note, any final thoughts you want to share, CJ, Aiden? Anything we haven't said, or
I think Aiden said something, and you guys might want to clip this. Aiden said something genius earlier. They
Oh
didn't do
shit.
anything spectacular here, but they didn't drop the ball necessarily on anything either. I think it was a pretty well-rounded game. I think we all agree. The soundtrack didn't blow us away. There wasn't really any one thing that made this game super standoutish. I think it was decent. I don't hate it, but nothing really too in depth to give you on the final thoughts. It was all right. It was a game.
How about you, Ed?
Yeah,
You got
this game
anything?
was very non-offensive. Uh, it kind of took a leap with the no jump button and having the grapple as your movement mechanic. But I think it did it pretty well. Like I said earlier, didn't nothing really blew my mind about this game, but it didn't really drop the ball on nothing either. Uh, yeah, pretty much solid game. It's not offensive. It was not is not Felix the cat, so good with me.
I think it's something that's beautiful about the NES. They tried something different. Didn't knock it out of the park, but I think they got a solid double out of it. Stand up double all day. I mean, it's hard to hate. It's the stuff that they were trying to do, they did well. I guess that's where I think we're collectively going to go on the grappling, the feel of the movement, the ability to use a grappling hook as a grappler, as a way to move, the shooting, the this little bit of the story and how it works. I'm trying to think what they call it, the gates, if you will. You have to do this to do that. I mean, programming wise, done really well, but the little small things that you kind of make games better, they didn't go crazy on the soundtrack, the story, the all where it's going. So it's not bad, it's not great. It's just but like I say, the little bit they did, and the things I think we don't get enough of in our world anymore is it's something different. And that's why I wanted to make sure we at least played it. Um, so with that in mind, I would recommend it. If you've never played Bionic Commando, give it a shot. It's worth your time, I think, at least to experience it. It may open up a whole genre of difference for you. Who knows? Like saying, there are several different successors to this. Would you agree or disagree with that idea, Aiden?
I agree. 100%. I would recommend playing this. It's something different on the NES. You're looking for a game to play. It's not going to blow your socks off, but it's a fun, solid, non-offensive game, and it's unique. I like it. I would definitely stamp recommended on it.
See?
Well, I got to be different here. It's not my cup of tea. I don't think I come back to it. I don't really think there's other NES games I'd say that you should play like Felix the Cat. You know what I mean? I think there's other NES games I could recommend to people out there. I typically I try not to be super harsh in that sense and say, sure, go for it. If you do if you are a little interested in it, why not pick it up? Never hurts to play another video game, get another flavor out there. If you guys like that, but no, I probably personally won't come back to it. I know you guys hit huge points on it. It's difficult, kind of in the sense of figuring it out. I don't think that it's something I want to invest my time in to figure out. To tell you the truth, I think I'd rather put my time into figuring out some other things. But overall, yeah, I'd say I take back my no. I don't think I'd strongly recommend it, but yeah, why not? I'm always, like I said, always into getting another flavor on your palate there. So give it a try.
Yeah, well, that's a wishy-washy answer if I ever fucking
Yeah.
heard one.
So yeah, no, I would recommend it. I
I was
take it
kind of
back. I recommend it.
I was kind of indifferent on it. I mean, I wouldn't personally say yes, you need to go play this game, but I wouldn't be like, no, dude, don't waste your fucking time. Like that's probably the better answer I could give. That's a little more conclusive. I wouldn't
guys,
personally tell somebody to play this.
guys, I don't recommend it, but it's always good to play something different. I recommend it. That's really.
I feel you. I feel
Whatever.
you. So, Aiden, you gonna try it again some point in time? Maybe give it 10 more minutes of your time again somewhere in life, or you don't know.
I probably won't, especially now that I've seen Hitler's head get blown up. I don't think I'll come back to it. I've seen the ending. I kind of get the gist of the game. I don't know if I'd come back to beat the game.
Fair.
Um, I'm only because I know they waited almost 10, 20 years before they made another one. I think I would probably come back and try it again, just to see if I could. But again, I'm going to have to basically probably play it with a video beside me or how to going. So I guess it's one of those just so I can technically check it off the box, check the box off to say I did beat it. Asterisk. Yeah, sure. But I liked it. It was all right. So with that in mind, I guess we're going to wrap this up and let's throw some numbers around. Anybody want to go in first or
I'll go first. I have a number in mind. I have a.
all right?
I am sitting at. I've had this number. I've kind of fluctuated throughout the episode, but I was always sitting around this number. I'm going a flat even 7 on the dot. That is Dilf's superstar ranking for this episode of VGR. Bionic Commando is getting a 7 on the dot from me. See, you
Okay.
gotta. I've
Well, that's
CJ's always the oddball out, so let's have Larry go, and then we'll have CJ give his dumb answer.
Yeah,
I
Larry. Yeah, you beat me to it.
is he gay though? I mean, um, I'm with you. Like I said, I think, like I said, the one thing I've said in this is whether it's fun and all that. I think it is fun. I think it's got its moments. It does have that little bit of RPG effect on the idea of you've got to help build your character up. You've got to grind a little bit, so that does get a little tedious. Um, I wasn't going to shoot real high, but I was dancing in that neighborhood, so I'll go flat where I was. I was 6'9". Nice, but 6.9 is what I was going to shoot for, just because I was right there. I mean, it's fun. It's not too fun. It's just all right, and I think it falls in there with that. So 6.9 is where I'm going to say for this. How about you, see? Fuck this number up, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. I think that's fair, but I think based on every way that we've been talking about it, I think we've just been out of rating games for too long. I think for me, this is probably a 4.3. I think the music definitely doesn't help its case, but I don't know. To me, this game's not necessarily a good game. It's more of an average game. But I mean, it looks like you two veered into the good game area. I call it an average game. It didn't wow me, didn't blow me away, didn't make me hate my life. I've played better, I've played worse, but overall it leaves us sitting pretty. So if you'd like to hear, with my score, unironically, I brought us exactly down to a 6, which is the top highest score that you can get to be an average game on the VGR scale. So I balanced it out for us. It's an average game. 6 VGR score.
Hey man, top side average. That's okay.
Fine.
That's about like you, right?
We can live with that.
I
Mr. Wishy
agree,
Washy
yeah.
brung us down a little bit, but live with that.
But you wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't recommend it, but
Why
I
not?
recommend it.
I mean, it's like an 8, but it's also like a 3. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. There you go. Well, that pretty much is Bionic Commando for the NES. Um, it's in there. We played it. Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. CJ, he said it all. Play it. Don't play it. He don't give a fuck. He don't care.
I get paid either way,
So,
man.
hell yeah. So, I guess what greatness did we come up with from Sir Kanye in regards to some Bionic Commando?
Wow. Well, the issue is I didn't even think about it. So if you want to shout
Wow.
out the pod, Aiden, I just completely slipped me. If you want to shout out the pod, Aiden, I will make
Wow,
sure
he's
that I
losing.
have it in.
He's losing himself. Guys, like, share, subscribe. You're listening to this on Spotify audio platforms. Check us out on the tube. Come see our pretty faces. I'm gonna be starting doing some more other content on here on the tube as well, so come check that out. Some Pokemon openings, maybe some Let's Plays. Who knows? But hey, check us out. Like us on other social media platforms. Our link tree is in the bio. Just check everything out and hit us with a follow. You already know what to do. Well, CJ, I was kind of trying to make it a quick one to put you on the spot here. You got something for us?
Yep. Oh, I got something for you. Very fitting to the theme here. It's from a more recent Kanye project. Not gonna say the name. Don't know how that would go over. But people see my Twitter, but don't see how I be feeling. So I became a Nazi. Yeah, bitch. I'm the villain. That is the content quote of the week.
Not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't his head blowing up, but I get where you're coming from on it. So I don't know. I mean, didn't think about what the hell we opened up until we opened it up. So there you go, folks. That is another episode of the Video Game Replay Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a good time with it. For my co-host, from us to you, thank you for listening. I've been Larry.
My name's Aidan.
This is CJ.
We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.